Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is the Bodega Cat Book Club Health Edition. And today we're continuing our reading of Vibrational Medicine by Dr. Richard Gerber, MD, medical doctor. And this is the third edition that we're using. And I'm sorry about the glare there. There you go. Okay. So this book was inspired by a quote by a very famous scientist called Nikola Tesla. And I'm paraphrasing his quote. He said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, you have to understand vibration, energy, and frequency. So this book was inspired by that and also inspired by a lot of things that are happening especially in the medical world in this point in time. There's a lot of dismantling of the old guards, if you could say that. And when you have a dismantling of something old, you have something new that ushers in. And I think the vibrational medicine is something new, energy, frequency, things like that. So I think it's good to learn about it since it's coming, in my opinion. So this is what this book is about, or what this particular book club is about. So, before we begin, if you like what we do here, please do consider checking out our other book clubs. We have a spiritual book clubs on Mondays and financial book clubs on Thursdays. And we put all our books that we've read, past books as well as current books on YouTube. And we have it on a playlist. So you can download it and listen to it when you're in traffic, when you're walking the dog, when you're doing laundry or whatever. We have other contents on our YouTube as well, not just the book club, so please do check it out. If you have a book or books that you would like to recommend for us to read, I will leave a link in the description box below for you to let us know, and we'd love to check it out. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to learn more about new books that we can read or classic books. We love classic books. And also, please consider signing up for our free monthly newsletter as well. And if you want to support us further, you can buy me a coffee, leave a donation, or check out our merch. We have many different designs for both your fur babies, for your dogs and cats, as well as for humans. So, and we're always updating our designs and putting out new ones. So please do check it out periodically. And finally, if you are in the Los Angeles area or visiting LA, come visit us in our healing center. We have a healing center that we use technologies based on Nikola Tesla's scalar wave research for holistic healing for both domestic cats and dogs as well as humans. So you can read all about that on our website as well as our other services. But we appreciate you supporting us in whatever way, shape, or form that you can. But most importantly, thank you for being on this book journey with us. We love to read and we love to share. Reading is a lost art, in my opinion. And I like to revive it. I don't know, we'll see. So, anyways, that's that. Okay. So today's episode is chapter 4, and this is part 1. And I hope you're enjoying this book. I like the education that this book presents and the introduction. This is a good introductory book. Okay, but some of the scientific stuff kind of goes over my head a little bit. All right, so this is chapter 4, Frequency Domains and the Subtle Planes of Matter, an introduction to human multidimensional anatomy. Now, if you have a book, you can follow with us there. If not, you can follow with us here on camera. And I'm just going to move the camera in a little bit so you could see a little better. And for those who are just listening, you can ignore the camera. Okay, here we go. All right. One of the prime differences between the approaches of Newtonian and Einsteinian medicine is their viewpoints of the human body. Newtonian mechanistic thinkers, albeit sophisticated in the molecular biological approach, see the human body as a series of intricate chemical systems powering a structure of nerve and muscle, flesh and bones. The physical body is viewed as a supreme mechanism, an intricate physical clockwork down to the very cellular structure. We have discussed in chapter 1 that considerable evidence suggesting that the distinction of the physical nature of matter becomes lost on a subatomic level. The solid nature of physical matter is but an illusion of the senses. The new perspectives describes matter as a substance composed of particles which are themselves points of frozen light. The wave-particle duality of matter suggests new, previously unconsidered qualities of human physical structure that allow a new model of the physical body to be constructed. What we will explore within this chapter is the continuity of our physical system with higher energy systems. These subtle energy systems play an integral part in the total functioning of human beings. The physical system, far from being a closed system, is only one of several systems which are in dynamic equilibrium. What might appear to be a radical departure from conventional thinking is that all of these systems are physically superimposed upon one another in the very same space. These higher energy systems, referred to as our subtle bodies, are actually composed of matter with different frequency characteristics than that of the physical body. As discussed in chapter 2, it is likely that since matter is a kind of frozen light, it must therefore have particular frequency characteristics. The difference between physical matter and etheric matter is only a difference of frequency. It is an acknowledged principle within physics that energy of different frequencies can coexist within the same space without destructive interaction. This principle is demonstrated daily by the man-made electromagnetic soup in which we work and live. We are constantly bombarded by radio and TV broadcasts which pass through our houses and bodies. This electromagnetic energy is invisible to our eyes and ears because it exists at a threshold of energy beyond the energetic frequency, sensitivity of our physical organs of perception. If, however, we happen to turn on the TV set, these normally invisible energies become translated into energies of visible light and audible sound, which are within our perceptual range of sensitivity. When we turn on the TV set, we do not see the channel 2's image mixed with channel 7's because the energies are of slightly different frequencies. They can exist within the same space without interfering with each other. It is only because of the interjection of our TV set as an extension of our senses that we can even tell that these energies are present. This principle of energies of different frequencies occupying the same space non-destructively has theoretical implications for matter of different frequencies. Because of their different inherent frequencies, physical and etheric matter can coexist in the same space, just as radio and TV waves can pass through the same space without interference. The energetic matrix of the etheric body or holographic energy field template is superimposed upon the structure of the physical framework. This is why the phantom leaf effect always appears in the space formerly occupied by the physical portion of the leaf. The same principle of matter of different frequencies applies to even greater frequency matter than the etheric body. Bodies of higher energetic frequencies are interconnected and in dynamic equilibrium with the physical body. It will be the purpose of this chapter to illustrate the nature and principles of these higher subtle bodies and their interconnections to the physical body. They synergistically combine to form the greater part of our extended energy framework. The physical etheric interface, the next greatest discovery in the development of vibrational medicine. As discussed in chapter 1, excuse me, there is considerable evidence to suggest that there exists a holographic energy template associated with the physical body. This etheric body is a body which looks quite similar to the physical body over which it is superimposed. Within the etheric energetic map is carried information which guides the cellular growth of the physical structure of the body. It carries the spatial information on how the developing fetus is to unfold in utero, and also the structural data for growth and repair of the adult organism should damage of or disease occur. It is the template of a salamander limb which allows a new foot to grow if the present one is severed. This energetic structure works in concert with the cellular genetic mechanisms that molecular biology has elaborated upon over the last several decades of medical research. The physical body is so energetically connected and dependent upon the etheric body for cellular guidance that the physical body cannot exist without the etheric body. If the etheric field becomes distorted, physical disease soon follows. Many illnesses begin first in the etheric body and are then later manifested in the physical body as organ pathology. As mentioned above, the etheric body is in fact a body of matter. The matter of which it is composed is called etheric matter or subtle matter. It is the substance of which our higher energetic bodies are composed. Subtle matter is used as a general term referring to types of matter associated with our unseen higher energetic counterparts. The only difference between the etheric body and those higher bodies, which will shortly be discussed, is that of frequency characteristics. The higher frequency bodies are unseen only because the technologies which render these energies visible to the naked eye are still mostly in the developmental stages. The world of radio and X-ray astronomy was also an unseen universe until the appropriate technologies could be developed to extend our senses in those energetic directions. So, in the case of subtle energies, a similar research effort in rendering the invisible visible is greatly needed at this time. The etheric body is not completely separated from the physical system with which it interacts. There are specific channels of energy exchange which allow the flow of energetic information to move from one system to another. Although these channels have not been known or discussed in Western science until recently, there is much that has been written about these systems in esoteric Eastern literature. One system which has been explored only recently by Western scientists is the acupuncture meridian system. Ancient Chinese theory has it that the acupuncture points on the human body are points along an unseen meridian system that runs deeply throughout the tissues of the body. Through these meridians passes an invisible nutritive energy known to the Chinese as qi. The qi energy enters the body through the acupuncture points and flows to deeper organ structures, bringing life-giving nourishment of a subtle energetic nature. The Chinese believe that there are 12 pairs of meridians that are connected to specific organ systems deep within the human structure. The Chinese also feel that when the flow of energy to the organs becomes blocked or imbalanced, dysfunction of the organ system will occur. Much has been written recently in the West about the use of acupuncture to treat pain disorders. Western physicians have only recognized acupuncture for its ability to treat various types of pain or for its use as a surgical analgesic. Because of this limited recognition of acupuncture, the theories used to explain acupuncture's analgesic effects, such as the gate control theory of Wall and Melzat, rely heavily on models involving nerve stimulation and more recently endorphin release within the central nervous system. Most Western physicians have dismissed the idea of these meridians through which qi energy flows in favor of more anatomically and physiologically familiar models. Part of this dismissal stems from lack of anatomical evidence in the Western medical literature for the existence of these meridians within the body, within the human body. There were a series of studies on the anatomic nature of the meridian system in animals, which were carried out in Korea during the 1960s by a team of researchers headed by Professor Kim Bong-han. And here there are two footnote or endnotes about that. We won't read that, but it's just there for your reference. If you have a book, you can refer back to that. Kim did experimental work with the acupuncture meridians of rabbits and other animal models. He injected radioactive P32, an isotope of phosphorus, into a rabbit acupoint and followed uptake of the substance into the surrounding tissue. Utilizing the technique of micro-autoradiography, he discovered that the P32 was actively taken up along a fine duct-like tubule system, approximately 0.5 to 1.5 microns in diameter, which followed the path of the classical acupuncture meridians. Concentrations of P32 in tissue immediately adjacent to the meridians or near the acupoint injected were negligible. When P32 was deliberately injected into a nearby vein, little to none could be detected in the meridian network. This finding suggested that the meridian system was independent of the vascular network. More recent studies by French researcher Pierre de sorry, I butchered that name. Pierre de Vernejoux. Ooh, sorry about that. And others have confirmed Kim's findings in humans. And there's another endnote that you guys can check it out. Okay, radioactive technetium. Wow. Wow, we're getting real technical here. Radioactive technetium 99M was injected into the acupoints of patients, and the isotope's uptake was followed by gamma camera imaging. De Verjoul found that the radioactive technetium 99M migrated along classical Chinese acupuncture meridian pathways for a distance of 30 centimeters in 4 to 6 minutes. Injection of the isotope into random points on the skin, as well as deliberate venous and lymphatic channel injection, were unable to demonstrate similar results, suggesting that the meridians were a unique and separate morphological pathway. Kim's histologic studies of the ductile system in rabbits showed that this tubular meridian system appeared to be divided into a superficial and deep system. The deep system was further subdivided into various systems or subsystems. The first of these deep meridian systems was called the internal duct system. These tubules were found free floating within the vascular and lymphatic vessels, penetrating the vessel walls at entry and exit points. Fluids within these internal ducts were usually found to travel in the same direction as the blood and lymph flow of the vessel they were discovered in, but in certain circumstances, ductal fluids were noted to flow in the opposite direction. The fact that these internal ducts penetrate and leave the vessel walls, as well as have their fluid flow sometimes opposite to that of their carrier vessels, suggests that the formation of these ducts is different, and perhaps earlier in time than the origin of the vascular and lymphatic system. In other words, the meridians may have been formed earlier in embryogenesis than the arteries, veins, and lymphatic vessels. The meridians may act as spatial guides for the growth and development of the newly forming blood and lymphatic circulatory network. As the blood vessels developed, They would grow around the meridians and leave the appearance that the meridians entered and exited the vessels. A second series of tubules was characterized and called the intra-external duct system. These ducts are found along the surface of the internal organs and appear to form a network which is entirely independent of the vascular, lymphatic, and nervous systems. A third series, known as the external duct system, was found to run alongside the outer surface of the walls of blood and lymphatic vessels. These ducts are also found in layers of the skin and are known as the superficial duct system. It is this latter superficial system which is most familiar to classical acupuncturists. The fourth series of tubules, known as neuroduct system, are distributed in the central and peripheral nervous systems. All the ductules were eventually found to be interconnected, superficial to deep systems, so that continuity of the system was maintained. The various duct systems are interlinked together via a connection of the terminal ductules of the different systems. This linkage is similar to the arteriovenous link at the capillary tissue bed level. Interestingly enough, Kim discovered that the terminal ductules reach this tissue cell nuclei. Also spaced at intervals along these meridians, Kim found special small corpuscles. Those corpuscles in the superficial duct system seem to lie beneath and correspond with the classical acupuncture points and meridians of the human body. Okay, so I'll read those sentences again because the author italicized it. Interestingly enough, Kim discovered that the terminal ductules reach the tissue cell nuclei, and those corpuscles in the superficial duct system seem to lie beneath and correspond with the classical acupuncture points and meridians of the human body. Fluid extracted from these tubules revealed high concentrations of DNA, RNA, amino acids, hyaluronic acid, 16 types of free nucleotides, adrenaline, corticosteroids, estrogen, and other hormonal substances in levels far different from those ordinarily found in the bloodstream. The concentration of adrenaline in the meridian fluid was twice that of the bloodstream. In an acupoint, over 10 times the blood level of adrenaline was found. The presence of hormones and adrenaline within ductal fluids would certainly suggest some link between the meridian system and the endocrine glands of the body. Kim found that the terminal ductules of the deeper meridian system also reach the tissue cell nuclei, which are the genetic control centers of the cells. In view of the presence within meridian fluids of nucleic acids and hormones such as corticosteroids and estrogen, it would appear that there are important interrelationships between the acupuncture meridian system and the endocrine regulation of human beings. Kim did a number of experiments to confirm the importance of continuous meridian flow to particular bodily organs via the deep meridian systems. He severed the meridian going to the liver in a frog and studied subsequent microscopic changes in the liver tissue. Shortly after severing the liver meridian, the hepatocytes enlarged and their cytoplasm became very turbid. Within 3 days, serious vascular degeneration took place throughout the whole liver. Repeated experimentation of this nature confirmed the results. Kim also studied changes in neural reflexes when perineural meridian ducts were severed. Within 30 minutes of severing the perineural ducts, reflex time was prolonged by more than 500%, and this persisted beyond 48 hours with only minor fluctuation. These studies would tend to confirm the classical Chinese acupuncture theory, stating that the meridians provide a specialized nutritive flow to the organs of the body. Based on many experiments, Kim concluded that the meridian system not only interlinked within itself, but appeared to interconnect with all cell nuclei of the tissues. In order to find the point at which this nuclear cellular link was formed in embryogenesis, Kim began to study in different species the time at which these meridians were formed. In embryological studies reminiscent of Dr. Burr, Kim found that within the embryonic chick, the meridian ducts were formed within 15 hours of conception. Wow, that's pretty fast. I'll read that again because it's italicized by the author. Kim found that within the embryonic chick, the meridian ducts were formed within 15 hours of conception. This is most interesting because even the most rudimentary organs have not yet formed at this stage. In view of the fact that the completed spatial orientation of the meridian system occurs earlier than organ formation, this would suggest that the functioning of the acupuncture meridian system exerts an influence upon the migration and spatial orientation of the internal organs. I'll read that again because it's italicized by the author. This would suggest that the functioning of the acupuncture meridian system exerts an influence upon the migration and spatial orientation of the internal organs. Because the meridians connect to each cell's genetic control center, the acupuncture meridian system may also play an important role in both replication and differentiation, specialization of all cells in the body. We can integrate the research of Kim with parallel studies of Dr. Harold Burr. And there's an endnote to Dr. Burr if you want to check that out, if you have a book. It will be recalled that Dr. Burr carried out experiments mapping the electrical fields around developing salamander embryos. Through his research, he discovered that an electrical axis developed in the unfertilized salamander egg, which correspond to the future orientation of the brain and central nervous system in the adult organism. The creation of such an electrical axis or waveguide in the unfertilized egg suggests that some type of directional energy field cooperates with and provides spatial orientation to the rapidly dividing and migrating cells of the newly forming embryo. Burr also discovered that in plant seedlings, the contour of the electrical field surrounding the new sprouts followed the shape of the adult plant. If we combine our knowledge of Kirlian photography's ability to capture the phantom leaf phenomenon with the aforementioned data, we come to the conclusion that the spatial organization of growth from embryogenesis through adulthood is guided by a holographic energy field template known as the etheric body. I'll read that again because it's italicized by the author. The spatial organization of growth from embryogenesis through adulthood is guided by a holographic energy field template known as the etheric body. So, in other words, just a side note, you could think of the etheric body as like the blueprint, similar to like a blueprint of an architect or a house or something like that. That's what the etheric body is. So, in a sense, you hear a lot of talk about our world being a holographic universe. Um, that's kind of like the idea. Because whatever happens in the physical world happens first in the etheric world, in the blueprint. So, any kind of illness, sickness, or even good vibrations, right? Happiness, abundance, whatever it may be, it happens first in the etheric blueprint, in the holographic energy field, before it happens in the physical body. So if you want to work on something, let's say if you want to work on finding your true love, just an example, or if you want to manifest $1 million, just an example, you want to work on it from a holographic, the etheric field first, and work your way down, uh, and it will eventually trickle down to the manifestation, to the physical realm. It might take a while before it manifests, but eventually it will. So, just a thought. All right, continuing. Kim discovered that the formation of the acupuncture meridian system preceded the development and placement of rudimentary organs in the embryo. Okay, hold on a second here. Sorry about that. All right. He also found close links between the meridians and the nuclei of cells. His work suggests that some type of information flows through the meridians to the DNA control centers of the cells, providing additional modulation of the embryologic developmental process. Because the meridians becomes spatially organized within the embryo prior to the cells and organs finding their final positioning within the body, this would suggest that the meridian system provides a type of intermediate roadmap or informational guidance system to the developing cells of the body. Synthesizing from the embryological research of Burr and Kim, it would appear that the meridian system forms an interface between the etheric and the physical body. The meridian system is the first physical link established between the etheric body and the developing physical body. I'll read that again because it's italicized by the author. It would appear that the meridian system forms an interface between the etheric and the physical body. The meridian system is the first physical link established between the etheric body and the developing physical body. Thus, the organized energetic structure of the etheric body precedes and guides the development of the physical body. The translation of etheric changes uh, into physical cellular changes occurs in both health and illness. This theory is consistent with data from other sources, such as Dr. Shafika Karagula's work with clairvoyant diagnosis, and there is a endnote on that if you wish to explore further, that have described dysfunctional changes in the etheric body of people occurring prior to the appearance of overt disease in the physical body. The acupuncture meridian system forms what might be called the physical etheric interface. Bioenergetic information and vital chi energy move from the etheric body to the cellular level of the physical body via this specialized meridian network. To quote one psychic source, quote, oops, sorry about that. There is a direct link between the nervous, circulatory, and meridian systems, partly because ages ago the meridians were originally used to create these two parts of the physical body. Consequently, anything that influences one of these systems has a direct impact on the other two areas. The meridians use the passageway between the nervous and circulatory systems to feed the life force into the body, almost extending directly to the molecular level. The meridians are the interface or doorway between the physical and ethereal properties of the body. And that last sentence is italicized, so I'll read it again. The meridians are the interface or doorway between the physical and ethereal properties of the body. The meridian system is not just a physical system of tubules transporting hormones and nucleotides to cell nuclei, but is also a specialized type of electrolytic fluid system that conducts certain types of subtle energies, chi, from the external environment to deeper organ structures. The implication that certain types of energies are communicated through the acupuncture points of the artificial meridian system is supported by measurements of electrical skin resistance in and around the acupoints. Quantitative measurements by various researchers have demonstrated that there occurs nearly a 20-fold drop in electrical resistance at the acupoints. And there's an end note about that if you wish to explore further. It is well known that energy tends to follow the pathway of least resistance. Water, which makes up the greater part of the human body, is known to be a good conductor of not only electrical but also subtle energies, as discovered in the grad studies. Kirlian photographic studies have also confirmed that the acupuncture points have distinct electrographic characteristics. Of even greater importance is the fact that electrographic researchers such as Dumitrescu, sorry I butchered that name, Dumitrescu, utilizing abdominal electronographic body scans, have found that changes in brightness of the acupuncture points precede the changes of physical illness in the body by hours, days, and even weeks. And there's an end note about that if you want to explore further. This is in agreement with the supposition that changes in the etheric structure precede pathological changes of illness in the physical body. It also supports the Chinese theory that illness is caused by energetic imbalance within the meridians supplying the nutritive qi energies to the organs of the body. The meridian changes reflect dysfunction that has already occurred at an etheric level. These changes gradually filter down to the level of the physical via the acupuncture meridian system. An illustration of this principle, whereby acupuncture meridian changes precede physical organ dysfunction, can be seen in Kim's study of the meridian system of the liver. When Kim experimentally interfered with the nutrient flow of the meridians going to the liver, abnormal changes in liver cells were not seen until 3 days later. Thus, the integrity and energy balance of the acupuncture meridian system is crucial to the maintenance of health of the organism. The meridian system holds the key not only to therapeutic routes of disease intervention, such as needle manipulation of acupoints, but also early disease detection as well. Because of their ability to record changes in the subtle energies of the meridian system, Kirlian electrography and various other acupuncture-related electronic systems may have great diagnostic potential for future physicians. Such devices may eventually provide us with tools which can measure subtle physiological imbalances in the body associated with illness much earlier than existing methods. The acupuncture meridian system will be discussed in greater detail in a separate chapter. This meridian system is not, however, the only link between our physical body and our higher energetic systems of functioning. Okay, we will stop there for now. I think the author lays it out pretty well, the concept of the holographic world, huh? We hear that a lot, that we live in a uh, in holographic world. And that's what it makes our body multidimensional, which makes it unique. So the biological aspect is true, the Newtonian concept, and also the subtle energies is also true. So two things can be true at the same time. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. What do you think of this chapter? What do you think of what the author's view is, or some of your own experiences with energy and holographic universe and all that. So we'd love to hear from you. And we hope you have a great day, and we will see you next time in the next book club. Okay, bye-bye now.